It is a great joy and honor to come into your homes once again. This is Emmanuel Mensah, a co-founder of the Eagle Mentality Group. At Eagle Mentality Group, we teach and propagate information about the power of thought, universal laws and principles, and how our thinking and these laws combine to create our life circumstances. All human beings create their own realities, every one of us. Nothing comes into a person's life uninvited. It comes to us by the way we think, whether we know this or not, whether we are aware of this or not. That is the fact. You don't have to know it, but that is the law. And as a matter of fact, all of us were born babies. A baby has no concept about or the knowledge about the circulation of the blood in the body. But the fact that the baby doesn't know anything about it doesn't mean that that particular situation is not happening in his or her life. Until we grow to become adults, that we go through school system and they teach us how the blood circulation works, none of us understood it. But as a matter of fact, it was happening in our life. So it is. The fact that you are not aware of the fact that all human beings create their own reality doesn't make it a false statement. But you are here to discover it. And that is why I'm here. But before we go on to today's topic, I would like to make this appeal to you. As you listen to this video, please kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on other social media platforms and help us to spread this message of empowerment and let us grow our community. Those of us that have already subscribed, we just want to say thank you in advance, and also just to appeal to you that continue to listen and spread the word. And so today I'm going to speak to you on the topic, mindset is everything. And under this topic, I'm going to base on development. So I would say development is a mindset. All human beings are looking for improvement in their lives. And if you look at our lives, the human being is naturally created in such a way that we are always looking for newer things, improved things in our lives. But as a matter of fact, by the deceit or the indoctrination that we've been born into, we've been trained to take on a certain line of thinking and believe that things are done for us, but we are not those creating it. And as a result, human beings, most or the majority of the human population only sit down. Mostly we pray to God for God to do those things for us, or we appeal to our fellow human beings to come and do it for us. But our fellow human beings, when they come in, they are also human beings. How come that they have the ability to do it and we don't have? And so the differences between, or the factors that leads to this kind of differences is what I'm presenting to you. All human beings are born creators, but we are all being controlled and directed by our mindset. First, you got to establish the belief that you are a creator. You are here to co-create with the power that we call God, infinite intelligence. And therefore, if you have that concept, that mindset that you are a creator, then your job is to create. But for you to develop yourself, it begins with you first coming into knowledge that there is something lacking in your life. And so when there is something lacking in your life, you don't qualify it or you don't classify it as an enemy or someone is doing it to you or some superpowers are doing that to you. But you consider it as something that triggers a desire in you. And therefore, you deliberately think along those lines of the desire. And as you do that, you get ideas. The ideas come into your mind. And then you begin to create things in response to that particular challenge. The beginning, some of the creation will be rudimentary at a very low level. And the development of it is you continually seeking improvements to what you have already started. And as you do that, you move it to a higher level. That's the energy, the presence, the force that gave you that desire and idea to begin with will feed you with all the necessary things that must come in to grow this idea. But the fact is that you have to hold it in your mind that you are a creator. And therefore, you are here to co-create with this higher power, this presence. And so development is simply the daily application of the mind onto what we have, onto what we are doing, with the determination and the understanding that you are seeking more higher way, better ways of doing it, or the higher version of what you are already experiencing. And it is this daily application or holding of this mindset that propel other people to go beyond what we call ordinary. It is not that what they have done and we are seeing today is how they started. It started as ordinary, rudimentary things. Then, thought by thought, they put improvement, they added improvement to it, you see. And so, to be a developed person is the one that knows that he or she is a creator. And therefore, he is continually seeking improvement to whatever he or she has or whatever he or she is doing. And as a matter of fact, we talk of technology. Technology is not anything but the highest application of the mind to whatever you're doing. And if you apply your mind at the highest level to whatever you are doing, you will see that you will create something that makes the whole whatever you are doing so easy and more transformative, you see. And so, if you don't have this mindset, no one can develop you for you to be developed. Even if someone comes to do things for you, create things for you, the person will go. And as soon as the thing begins to crumble, you don't have the know-how, you don't have the understanding to maintain it and to make it work, you see. And so, development is a mindset. And as I have always been doing, as a matter of fact, the job I'm doing is about the Africans. My focus is on Africa. Why are we not developed? Why are we classified as underdeveloped or the least developed? And the reason is what I'm telling you. The African by nature doesn't have the concept of continuous improvement. And so when we start something, and even challenges appears with regards to what we've already started, we leave it. And then we look for different solutions, or we look for other things, or we just leave it and then we move on. Sometimes we endure the challenge, and then it metamorphoses into a higher level, you see. If you don't cross, or if you don't jump the hurdle, you will not go to the other level, you see. And so we are here, and all the time, whatever thing that we create by ourselves, they become rudimentary, but we just leave them, or we don't even do anything about them. In most cases, we just classify them as traditional things. Everything that comes from Africa is called traditional, you see. It is because we don't have this concept of continuous improvement. We do not have the understanding that everything is by growth. You see, so you have to begin and then continue to make improvement to whatever you have. And then as you do that, you move to the higher level. So the development is simply moving from a lower level to a higher level. You see, it's a mindset. A mindset. Development. If you come to where we call developed world, you will see things arranged in a perfect way. Those things were not conjured, but they were developed. They were created by human beings. We live in the same environment. We live on the same world. We too have to assess our own environment, our towns, our cities, our everything that we have, and deliberately create solutions, and then we develop those solutions to a certain level that it becomes our creation. And that is why we say this is the African version of this. And so when you go to even the developed world, we have the European version, we have the American version, we have the Chinese version. Now we have, even within Europe, you have the British version, you have the German version, you have the French version, you say. This is simply everyone doing his part and seeking higher improvement, whatever he's doing. So the fact is that our towns, our villages, everything is underdeveloped. There is no planning, there is nothing. This is not something that someone has to do for us, but it is we have to have that consciousness. But we don't have that consciousness, beginning from the ordinary person to the one that is in leadership. And so what we are thinking of is that we can do this kind of patchy projects. We put one thing here, we put one thing there, and we think we can develop. That is not development. Development is a step-by-step process, but you have to begin from yourself. Whatever you are doing at its lowest level, keep on doing it and seek higher versions of it. As you seek higher versions of it, the thing becomes a better and a better one, you see. And so there are a lot of things that in our African settings, we have left them, and we just classify them as traditional, or some we don't even practice them at all. We don't even think of how to improve them. Why? Because the African don't have this mindset. And so it all begins, or it all rests on the fact that we don't see ourselves as creators. And that is the main reason why I am here to draw your attention. You bring your mind to the home to this fact that you are a creator. And every creator doesn't just create one thing once and say, this is my final product. Every creator keeps on bringing in more improvement. Every year, every period, we bring higher versions of the older versions, you see. And so it is time for us to stop crisscrossing the world seeking development. It is time for us to stop, right from the ordinary person to those in power in Africa, Ghana, or whatever. Whatever development we are looking for, that development, we will not find it until we begin to look for the development from within ourselves, from our setups. We have to confront our challenges by the application of the mind, with the understanding and with the belief that we are creators here. We are here to create, and it is our divine right to move whatever we have to a higher level, you see. And so one thing that actually parallel Africans, that blocks us from being developed, is what we call tradition. We are always preoccupied by the mindset that we have to protect, we have to preserve our culture and that. But every human being is evolving. As a matter of fact, culture is a way of life. Our forefathers who lived before us, whatever they've done, that was their way of life, and that was the highest level of technology they could thought of. And so they created those things as their way of life. Today we are in a high level standard of human existence, and therefore to preserve those things, wanting to practice those things as it was in the olden days, is a kind of invention who you are now, you see. And so this is the time that we have to seek improvement. We have to seek deliberate improvement, whatever we have, our way of life, our dressing, our food, all other things. How can we bring revolutionary ideas into our setup such that they will match today's human existence, human evolution, you see. And so development is a mindset, right from all aspect of human life. And therefore, if we want to see our towns, our cities, our nations as developed, then we have to first begin to develop the mindsets that brings about development, and that is being deliberate about whatever you were doing, and having the understanding, having the belief, having the knowing that God is not doing anything for you, and God will not do anything for us, but we have to use our minds and to co-create with God. Everything that you are seeing in this world that you think is beautiful, is powerful, it will help you to make your life more comfortable, was created by human beings just like us. But they started from the lowest level, that they've moved it to where we see it, you see. And as I said in my previous episode yesterday, Africa is at the leading edge of human evolution, human development. And it is our responsibility and it is our role for us to rise up, to begin to apply our minds, to develop the right mental attitude, the right mindset, and begin to create as creators. Our challenges, our difficulties, our underdevelopment nature is an indication, or is the evidence of the equivalent of developed state that we can be. But this will not happen until we create the solutions to meet the challenges, you see. But the Africans don't have this concept, and that is the purpose of our project. That is what we are doing here at Eagle Mentality Group. We are appealing to all Africans, every human being, wherever you are. But our focus is on Africans. We have a lot of challenges. All these difficulties are opportunities. Minds must come to work. We must change our attitude. We must change our mindset and then begin to take on new mindset. And the first one is that you are not a victim, but you are a creator. All the circumstances, all the things that we have gone through as a continent, as a race or whatever, they are our own in creation by the way we thought, our beliefs, and the forces in the universe. If we change and begin to act deliberately, thinking and doing what we want to see in our lives, we will move ourselves to where we want to be, you see. And so development is not anything that you can learn in books. Development is not anything that someone can do for you, but development is a mindset. And therefore, if we have men and women who have this mindset that they have the ability, it is their divine right to live an improved life, and therefore every situation that they are going through is an opportunity for them to seek solutions, to seek answers, we will overcome all our challenges. And so my job here is to call you, or to appeal to you, to call upon you, that it is time for us to look for a newer version of life. And this newer version of life will never come until we have a newer version of mindset. And the new mindset is that you are a creator on earth here. You are a God on earth here. And you are creating your life experiences all the time. Therefore, let us be deliberate. Right from the bottom to the top, and to the top to the bottom. Everyone that believes and the understanding that we are the creators of our realities is a new mindset, and that we have the power and the ability to be, to do, and have anything in life. And if we go in this direction, we will turn our life into something that men and women all over the world will dance to, as the African invention, as the African version of whatever we have, we are giving to the world. And that is how we also rise to become part of world leaders. Thank you, and God bless you.